Do you think you took a public bullet for something that wasn't really your fault? You do?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, I think I did, and I think honestly Russell did too, because he wasn't a homewrecker. He took a lot of heat for that, and he had a lot of grace, frankly, about not talking about things that he knew were going on in my marriage. And
right, Meg Ryan's career was completely and utterly destroyed, while Crowe's literally just rose up. Not to mention that Dennis Quaid was a literal sewer rat.
The public believed they had witnessed one of Hollywood's biggest betrayals, but the truth behind America's favorite couple was far more complicated than the headlines ever suggested. For years, millions accepted the story that a shocking affair suddenly destroyed what looked like the perfect marriage overnight. Yet behind the glossy magazine covers and nonstop media attention, a very different story was quietly unfolding. Hidden beneath years of speculation, public assumptions, and carefully shaped narratives. But this is where everything takes an unexpected turn. To truly understand the heartbreaking chain of events that changed two major Hollywood careers forever, it helps to go back to the late 1980s, when Margaret Hyra, better known around the world as Meg Ryan, was quickly becoming the undisputed queen of romantic comedies. After leaving New York University just one semester before earning her degree and gaining valuable experience on the daytime soap, as the world turns between 1982 and 1984, her career took off at an incredible pace. A standout supporting role in the 1986 blockbuster Top Gun alongside Tom Cruise introduced her to an even bigger audience. But it was her unforgettable performance in 1989's When Harry Met Sally that truly made her America's sweetheart. That success eventually helped drive more than $670 million in box office revenue across 4 defining romantic comedies, turning her into one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. While audiences admired her warmth, charm, and relatable personality, serious pressures were quietly building behind the scenes and placing enormous strain on her personal life. When she married fellow actor Dennis Quaid on Valentine's Day in 1991, after their wedding had briefly been postponed following his honest admission that he was struggling with severe substance addiction, fans saw what appeared to be a real-life fairy tale. Quaid, already known for successful films like The Right Stuff, later shared that he had battled heavy illicit substance use before experiencing a life-changing moment that motivated him to enter rehab in 1990.
You've been pretty open about the fact that you were addict for a
Yeah,
while.
right.
How's that affected your life?
I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and there was a completely different attitude about it back then, and even in some movie budgets. But I kept roaring on. I was basically doing coke pretty much on a daily basis during the 80s. So I spent many a night screaming at God, please take this away from me. I'll never do it again, because I've only got an hour before I have to be at work. And at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I would go, that's not so bad. I had what I call a white light experience, where I saw myself either dead or losing everything that meant anything to me.
Their marriage soon welcomed a son, Jack Quaid, born on April 24, 1992, who would later build his own successful acting career in The Hunger Games and the television series The Boys. But beneath the glamorous image presented to the public, growing pressure, constant attention, and the widening gap in their professional success were quietly creating deep cracks in their relationship that few people could see.
Nobody dared mention that he had literally had affairs the entire time of their marriage. Everybody in Hollywood knew about it, the press knew about it, and that he had loads of accusations against him from young girls.
By the late 1990s, Meg Ryan had reached a level of success that very few actors could match. She was reportedly earning groundbreaking $15 million paychecks for films like Proof of Life, crossing a financial milestone that had traditionally been reserved for male action stars. Along the way, she had also passed on the now iconic role of Clarice Starling in The Silence of the Lambs, a decision that continued to spark discussion for years. As her career soared higher and higher, the growing gap between her success and Dennis Quaid's became increasingly difficult to ignore.
It sounds more like that Crowe came along at a time where she really needed somebody that wasn't toxic. She thinks her only mistake was that she didn't sell him out, that she should have told everybody what he was. But the press still would have placed all of the blame on her, and still now nobody talks about this.
In a 2018 interview with Megyn Kelly on NBC, Quaid reflected on that period, saying Ryan's enormous fame often made him feel almost invisible while walking through the streets of New York, as if he had slowly disappeared into her shadow.
Meg is really such a great, sweet person and really talented and deserved all her success. I don't regret anything about my marriage to Meg.
It was very complicated because I thought, this is so brave of him to be telling me, so incredibly brave. And then I felt furious. So it was this double thing. If I had found out some other way, maybe we wouldn't be together. Do you know? It was very complicated.
The fact that he told you himself.
Yeah, that he called it so much his problem, and that he did so much to take care of it himself, and that he's such a disciplined person, and that my problem then became having to think about why I was there and why that was satisfying for as long as it was, all that chaos was satisfying or comfortable. So I was then given the opportunity to do a lot of work on myself.
At the time, very few people outside their closest circle understood how deeply those feelings had affected their relationship. By the year 2000, their marriage had reportedly been struggling for quite some time, long before divorce papers officially entered the picture. The emotional distance between them had continued to grow, leaving both sides facing a relationship that no longer resembled the one the public admired.
It was never about another man. It was only about what my and Dennis's relationship just couldn't sustain, you know? And I think once the tabloids get a hold of 3 celebrity names,
Whoa.
you're just really in trouble.
No, your name goes on that board
Yeah.
every week, and there it is,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah.
That's right.
That growing disconnect created an opening for someone new to enter the story. Then came Russell Crowe. The Australian actor arrived on the set of the thriller Proof of Life with a reputation for being intensely passionate, direct, and completely committed to every role he took on, qualities that made him one of Hollywood's biggest stars at the time. Cast opposite Ryan as a determined hostage negotiator trying to rescue her character's kidnapped husband, the chemistry between the two quickly became impossible for many people around them to ignore. As production continued in remote filming locations, their connection reportedly grew stronger. Meanwhile, the press, still unaware of the struggles already affecting Ryan's marriage, believed they had uncovered a major Hollywood story.
Let's talk. When you were dating Russell Crowe, there was you took a lot of heat for that.
Yeah.
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 What was true? What wasn't true?
Well, my marriage was I think I have to talk about it in a way that's most respectful to my son.
Yeah.
It was a very unhealthy marriage,
Yeah.
and it was pretty much not a happening marriage for a very long time. I probably should have left much earlier, and I was very sad, actually, that it all had to come apart in the way that it seemed to have, you know, that...
In July 2000, before Ryan's divorce from Quaid had been finalized, photographers captured Ryan and Crowe holding hands as they left Tom Cruise's exclusive Mission: Impossible 2 premiere party, instantly sending entertainment news into overdrive. The media reaction was immediate and relentless. Tabloids followed their every move as reports placed them together in London clubs and during trips along the coastlines of California and Australia. Public fascination exploded as every new sighting became front-page news. According to later accounts from people close to them, the pair became deeply attached, regularly exchanging emails and spending long hours talking on the phone. But as the spotlight grew brighter and the public scrutiny became impossible to escape, the relationship faced mounting pressure, and the excitement surrounding it slowly gave way to far more difficult challenges. During the height of their whirlwind romance, the couple reportedly took part in moments that only fueled public fascination. One widely discussed story claimed they looked at homes together in Australia, with Russell Crowe reportedly pointing out luxury properties and asking Meg Ryan if she could picture living there. To many observers, it looked like a romance moving at full speed. But behind the excitement, growing pressure was beginning to build. According to various reports at the time, Crowe's intense personality was matched by an eagerness to plan for the future. He was said to be ready for marriage and starting a family, surprising Ryan with lavish gifts, including a puppy and a beautifully restored 1963 Buick. For Ryan, who was still working through the emotional aftermath of the end of a decade-long marriage, that rapid pace reportedly felt overwhelming rather than comforting. Distance soon became another obstacle that neither of them could easily overcome. Crowe remained deeply connected to Australia, while Ryan's career and family life kept her firmly based in Los Angeles. By December 2000, Less than a year after the relationship began, the romance quietly came to an end during the Christmas holidays while they were on separate continents.
And I'll be very grateful to him for a long time for that.
Really?
Yeah, and he was around at a divorce is an impossibly hard transition in your life, and he was there for a few months, and I didn't leave my marriage for Russell Crowe. I left my marriage.
Because your marriage wasn't working.
My marriage was not working.
Yeah.
In a February 2001 interview with the Herald Sun, Crowe suggested that the enormous geographic distance made the relationship too difficult to maintain. Although he also spoke warmly about Ryan and expressed sadness over losing someone whose company he had valued. Even as the relationship faded from their lives, the public attention surrounding it was only becoming more intense. The aftermath proved especially difficult for Ryan's public image. Entertainment media and many commentators harshly criticized her, with some portraying her as the person most responsible for the highly publicized breakup. Whether fair or not, those headlines followed her everywhere and had a noticeable impact on how she was viewed within Hollywood. The scrutiny intensified again in October 2003 during the promotional tour for Jane Campion's erotic thriller, In the Cut. Ryan appeared on a live interview with veteran broadcaster Michael Parkinson in what many expected to be one of the biggest television appearances of the tour. Instead, the conversation quickly became tense and uncomfortable. Parkinson challenged Ryan with pointed questions about the film's explicit content and repeatedly brought the discussion back to her personal life, suggesting a connection between the controversies surrounding her and her career decisions. Ryan appeared increasingly guarded throughout the exchange, responding with brief answers before eventually asking that the interview be brought to a close. The British press reacted strongly, with some outlets criticizing her demeanor, while others later argued the questioning itself had been unusually confrontational. The interview has since been remembered by many viewers as one of the most uncomfortable celebrity television moments of its era. The difficult interview, combined with the disappointing box office performances of In the Cut and her 2004 boxing drama, Against the Ropes, which opened with about $3 million, marked a major turning point in Meg Ryan's career. Over the years that followed, she appeared in far fewer high-profile Hollywood projects, leading many fans to describe it as an extended hiatus. During that period, media attention gradually shifted away from her work and focused instead on her appearance. After photographs from a 2023 documentary screening honoring Michael J. Fox circulated online, harsh speculation about possible cosmetic procedures spread across social media and entertainment outlets, with many comments targeting changes in her facial features. Some online users even speculated that her absence from Top Gun: Maverick was connected to her appearance, although no evidence has supported those claims, and such theories remained purely speculative. Then, years after much of the public controversy had faded, an unexpected development changed the conversation. In a 2021 interview with Radio Times, Michael Parkinson reflected on his famous interview with Ryan and publicly apologized, acknowledging that he had allowed his own mood to influence the conversation and that his behavior came across as pompous and discourteous. The apology prompted many people to revisit the interview from a different perspective, with some arguing that Ryan had faced unusually intense scrutiny during that period of her career. Ryan herself also offered a very different view of what happened, challenging the long-standing narrative that had followed her for years. Speaking to The Guardian, Ryan recalled a defining moment at the height of the media storm when she walked into the lobby of London's One Aldwych Hotel and noticed the room suddenly fall silent as people turned to look at her. Rather than breaking down, she said she started laughing. For Ryan, that moment became unexpectedly freeing. She explained that once the image of being perfect had disappeared, she no longer felt trapped by the impossible expectations that had been placed on her for so long. Instead of constantly trying to protect a carefully crafted public image, she felt able to simply live her own life. In the years that followed, both stars moved in very different directions. Ryan began a long on-and-off relationship with musician John Mellencamp starting in 2010. Although the couple became engaged in November 2018, the engagement ended by late 2019, and Mellencamp later told Esquire that he believed he had been a lousy boyfriend to an incredible woman. Ryan devoted much of her attention to her family, including raising her adopted daughter, Daisy, and supporting humanitarian work through CARE. Eventually, she returned to filmmaking on her own terms by writing, directing, and starring in the 2023 romantic comedy What Happens Later, closing one chapter of her career while beginning another with a fresh perspective. Meanwhile, Russell Crowe finalized his divorce from singer Danielle Spencer in 2018. The former couple shared 2 sons, and in the years that followed, Crowe built a steady and happy life with his longtime partner, Brittany Theriot. The two first met while filming Broken City in 2013, and Theriot later worked alongside Crowe on several major projects, including Sleeping Dogs, Land of Bad, and The Greatest Beer Run Ever. They made their official red carpet debut at the Rome premiere of Poker Face in 2022. During a 2025 appearance on Nine's 60 Minutes, Crowe said he had no plans to marry again, explaining that he didn't want to disrupt the happiness and stability he had already found. Looking back, the story that dominated headlines in 2000 appears far more complicated than the simple version many people remember. Was the media too quick to decide who the hero and villain were, or did the enormous pressure of fame make this outcome almost impossible to avoid? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood's biggest stories, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.
There was a time in my life when I was going out with a girl called Meg Ryan. And one day she said, "You have to tell me where all your scars are from." So we start going through the scars. And she goes, "They're all from movies." She was so disappointed. Apparently movie scars are not real life. You know, I've picked up so many injuries over time. That's the truth of it, you know, because you might see one take that worked beautifully. You didn't see the 11 beforehand where things went to shit. And there's been a whole bunch of times, man, where my ability to stop on a dime has actually saved my life.